A reading from the Book of Mathew, chapter 24. No commentary. Jesus left the temple area and was going away when his disciples approached him to point out the temple buildings. He said to them in reply, Do you see all these things, do you not? Amen, I say unto you, there will not be left here a stone upon another stone that will not be thrown down. As he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples approached him privately and said, Tell us, when will this happen? And what sign will there be of your coming at the end of the age? At the end of the age? Jesus said to them in reply, See that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they will deceive many. You will hear of wars, report of wars. See that you are not alarmed by these things, for these things must happen. But it will not yet be the end. Nations will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquake from place to place. These are all the beginning of the labor pains. Yet they will hand you over to persecution, and they will kill you. You will be hated by all nations because of my name. And then you will be led into sin. They will betray and hate one another. Many false prophets will rise and deceive many, and because of the increase of evil doing, the love of many will grow cold. But the ones who persevere to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached throughout the world as witness to all nations. And then the end will come. When you see the desolate abomination spoken of through Daniel, the prophet stating in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then those in Judea must flee to the mountains. A person on the house top must not go down to get things out of his house. A person in the field must not return to get his cloak. Woe to the pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Pray that your flight not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For at that time there will be great tribulation, such as not been seen since the beginning of the world until now, nor will ever be. And if those days have not been shortened, no one will be saved, but for the sake of the elect they will be shortened. And if those days have not been shortened, no one will be saved, but for the sake of the elect they will be shortened. If anyone says to them, Look, there's the Messiah, or there he is, do not believe it. False messiahs and false prophets will rise, and they will perform signs and wonders so great as to deceive, if that were possible, even the elect. Behold, I have told it to you beforehand. So, if they say to you, He is in the desert, do not go out there. If they say, He is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For just as lightning comes from the east, and is seen from as far as the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Wherever the corpse is, wherever the vultures will gather. Immediately after the tribulation, those days, the sun will darken, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all tribes of earth will mourn, for they will see the Son of Man coming upon the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a trumpet blast, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one ends of the heavens to the other. Learn the lesson from the fig tree. When its branches become tender and sprouts leaf, you know that summer is near. In the same time, when you see all these things, know that he is near at the gates. Amen, I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things will have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day and hour no one knows, either angels of heaven nor the Son, but of the Father alone. For as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. In those days before the flood, they'll be eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, giving up to the day that Noah entered the ark. Given up to the day of that Noah entered the ark. They will not know until they did not know until the flood came and carried them all away. So will it be also at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be out in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. Therefore stay awake, for you do not know which day of your Lord. Therefore stay awake, for you do not know on which day your Lord will come. Be sure of this: if the master of the house had known the hour of night when the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and not let his house be broken into. So too must you also be prepared, for at the hour you do not expect the Son of Man will come. Who then is the faithful and prudent servant whom the master has put in charge of his household to distribute to them their food at the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom his master on his arrival finds doing so. Amen, I say unto you, he will put him in charge of all his property. But if that day the wicked servant says to himself, my master is long delayed, and begins to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with drunkards, the servant master will come on the unexpected day and at an unknown hour, and will punish him severely, and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. Okay, chapter 25. Thank you for spending your time with us. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.